Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Guns and Yellow Ribbons. My name is Fergus. I'm your host. As the transfer window shuts, a positive window opens. An episode of Guns and Yellow Ribbons. We're going to look back at the Arsenal versus Liverpool game yesterday, European tour, and much, much more. Enjoy the show. Oh, where's that gone? Doing it on a laptop.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast. By Arsenal fans, for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Evening, Trevor. Evening, Del.
You're doing my head in already.
Why?
Because it's so professional. Where's that gone? Where's that button gone when you're live anyway?
Listen, I didn't even know where my mouse was. I've just found my mouse. I'm sitting in a caravan in West Wales. I'm meant to be on holidays, and I'm here talking to you. I'm leaving my wife in the room behind me. So I'll do your head in all you like.
No one's forced you. Actually, I've had some private messages saying they wish it was just me and Dal. So there you go. And by the way, everyone out there, the title of this show should have done better is firmly and solely down to Mr. Fergus. I do not agree with the title of this show. Not one iota, boys.
Well, the reason I'd done it is I done it yesterday when I was feeling still a bit peeved about the results, which we'll get into. But on more reflection, like there was some pundits who come along and said, like, we set up to lose. I do think there's an element of that, but Liverpool also set up not to lose as well. So, it's just, it's what we'll talk about shortly. Del, welcome back. It's been a while.
It has indeed, but one thing that never changes is just as we're about to go live, Trevor always says, don't F it up, don't F it up, don't F it up. And because you think about it so much, guess what you end up doing every single time?
Yeah.
No, it's good to see you guys.
Yeah. So let's look into this. So we before we go, a couple of shout outs I want to do to the people who are watching us and following us on YouTube and on Twitter. We're now up to 1,400, I wish it was 14,000, 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. So we'd like to thank everybody on YouTube who've subscribed to us. If you're not already a subscriber, get yourself over there and click on the subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll get notifications of all the shows we do. And also, we had 70,000 views to date on YouTube, and that doesn't count all the views that we get, Trevor, on Twitter or X or whatever you call it now as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, we talk the same even if we had 4 viewers. I'm grateful we've got as many as we have, don't get me wrong. But that's what I love about doing this with you guys is that we just chat anyway. The only reason we like to get some more viewers and some more subscribers is because it gives us the opportunity to do more work with YouTube, editing and presentation, etc. So yeah, I'm over the moon with it, mate.
Yeah, we put a few shorts out as well with the help of Mance in Copenhagen. So that helps us on YouTube as well. But as you said, we'll talk the same regardless, because the concept is 4 guys or 3 guys down the pub as mates, chatting Arsenal, talking about the game yesterday. And more people are watching us and the more people who are joining in, the more comments we can get and more interaction for you guys. If people are on X and they are watching us, if you'd like to repost, then more people, your friends, will see us as well. Let's talk about this game then. So, Trevor, going up to Anfield, we've said several times about how important it is to try and win these games in the Nort West. We won ugly at Old Trafford 3 weeks ago. 3 games. 2 of them away, 2 of them in the Nort West. It's a really, really big ask. We had key injuries with Odegaard, a late fitness test, Saka being out as well. New signings, more depth to the squad. I was really, really, really confident. I wanted us to go and make a statement. Make a statement to Liverpool, make a statement to the Premier League, make a statement to the world. And with the lineup that we had, let me just take the banner down. We had David Ray in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori at the back, Zubimendi, Rice, and Marino in the midfield, Madueke in for Saka, Martinelli, and Victor Gyökeres. How did you feel seeing the lineup, Trev?
Yeah, listen, firstly, Ferg, it must be said straight away, mate, that Man United away and Liverpool away at this present time are not comparable at all. Not comparable at all. Liverpool are by far and away a superior side to Manchester United. Nevertheless, it's still the Nort West and we still wanted to go to win. I went up to Anfield on Saturday afternoon full of hope and some expectation. I knew that we were good enough to win this game of football. I knew we were. And on the day, we showed that we were. I know we're going to move on and get into the game in a minute, so we're only summing up here. But it must be remembered there were some lots of pluses, the odd minus, right? But we're away at Liverpool. This is the main thing in my head. We were away at the champions, who are a fine side, by the way. It hurts me to say that, but they're a fine side. And on another day, we nicked that game. We were close, very close.
Del, what did you make of the lineups? How did you feel with having Marino in instead of, say, well, put it this way, on the bench? If we look on the bench, we had, let me find it here. On the bench, we had, get rid of that comment. We had Kepa with Mosquera, who came on and was fantastic. Odegaard, Eze, Trossard, Wanyeri, Lewis Skelly, Downman, and a young academy player making his debut. Fair play to him. If Odegaard's on the bench, he's fit enough to play. If he's fit enough to play, he should start. He's the captain, don't you think?
It's a very good question, and one that, because we're not in that situation, I think it's hard to mention. Comment on fairly. I think you can flip it round and say, if someone's good enough to be on the bench, they're good enough to start. You can say that about anybody, right? But it's also about managing minutes. So for me, I think it was one of those games where we had players on the bench that were capable of playing that position. I think there was one of several people who could have played in that Odegaard type role beforehand as well. There was a lot of conversations in group chats on WhatsApp before kickoff around who goes there. It was mentioned about Eze. It was mentioned about Wanyeri. Not a lot of people, if anybody, that I saw mention Marino. And my honest opinion was I didn't think Marino was the right option. I'm happy with it because I'm happy with the whole team. But we'll go into it in a moment. But at half time, I think there was an opportunity there to make those changes earlier to get at Liverpool once we realised how much they were there for the taking. And I don't think we made that change quick enough because we didn't make it from the start.
No, absolutely. We'll get into the substitutions in a little bit, but I agree, leaving until 70-something minutes. And you can see what Slot done. He made his changes, I think it was about 10 minutes before that. And that's where he had the influence on the game and changed the game slightly and the narrative of the game a little bit. 2-3 minutes into the game, but I believe it happened in the warm-up, but was aggravated further. Saliba got injured, Trevor, and he came off. I don't know how serious it is. I'm hoping it's not too serious, but it was serious enough for them to go, no, we're not risking him any further.
Yeah, it was very worrying, because as I just said, we're away at probably the best side in the league apart from us, showing a bit of bias there, and we lose our one of our centre defenders after 4 minutes, and you could sense the Arsenal fans were concerned. He actually came on after 4 minutes, but the Mosquera had been probably getting changed for a minute or two before that. So it happened. It was before the game or the very first kick of the ball. So yeah, but didn't the lad come on and do himself proud? Last season I had to defend Kivior because a lot of people were giving him stick, and he came in and done brilliantly. From what I've seen so far, Mosquera is at least on a level with Kivior, probably likely to be much better. But boys, you both mentioned Marino, right? And I just want to dwell on Marino because before, and I put it on social media, I don't know if I was speaking to you boys before. For me, the main way of getting out this Liverpool side was to go at their centre halves, right? I honestly think that Van Dijk has seen better days, and I don't overly rate the lad next to him, right? And when I saw Marino in, I was a little bit gutted because although Marino's fine, he ain't going to press and harry defenders like Odegaard would, you know. Odegaard would have been in their face all game, as it showed when he came on, to be honest. So from that perspective, I was a little bit worried about Marino playing. But then I thought, I don't like setting up to draw. I use different words for the same thing. I got the feeling that we'd set up not to lose, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
And the first half, it worked superbly. I mean, I don't know how you boys, I've not watched the game back. I don't know how you boys saw it, but I thought that crowd were loud at times. Give Anfield credit where it's due. The crowd were loud. And I thought we absolutely matched them in every position on the park. I really
Trevor,
did.
I'll be totally honest with you. I thought we were the better side throughout the game. I thought you're right in using the phrase we set up not to lose. And I think we set up to try and take a sucker punch and do it the other way around, that we nick it 1-0. But as Arteta said at the end of the game, he was going to take an error or a super goal to separate them. Both teams were very, very good. But that was a really, really good performance. And that's why I'm actually more gutted and more upset about the game, and more gutted and more upset to why the changes weren't done earlier to try and just nick the game that little bit sooner. Like Mosquera, Dale, was outstanding. I didn't notice the step down from losing Mosquera to losing Saliba and bringing in Mosquera. You know, I when we saw previously when Kivior came on, he's done well over a few games, but it took him a little while to settle in. This lad just went. And I was so impressive. I was so impressed with Madueke as well. So two of the new signings making their debut at Anfield, which is a difficult place to go to at any time. What did you make of it, and what Trevor's comments on there about not setting up to lose the game?
Well, it's certainly a baptism of fire, wasn't it, for all the new guys going in, really. You mentioned Madueke, there, the pressure on him to fill Saka's boots. That's some job in its own. And Mosquera, as many have said in the comments as well, absolutely superb. I wasn't gutted about Marino playing there, but I think that showed that we were setting up not as attacking as we could have been. There was a lot of talk about Eze. Has he been embedded enough? Has he done this? And one of the comments and I'll stick with it, to be honest. One of the comments I said was, he's no stranger to the league. He's no stranger to playing that position. He's no stranger to playing the opposition. He's played the opposition several times in the last few weeks, including an FA Cup final and a Community Shield. He knows that back line. He knows what he can do and what he can't. We've got the talent all across the front for several players to slot in there. I'd have liked to have seen somebody a bit more attacking, somebody to have a go at that defence. If Odegaard isn't fit, or he wasn't fit enough to start, you've got the likes of Wanyeri. If you don't want to drop Eze in at the deep end, I get it. And again, there was a question on the left-hand side, which we'll come to in a moment as well. But I don't know. I'd like to have seen a bit more attacking, because when we play our game, rather than focus on what the opposition can and can't do, that's when we seem to play better.
Trevor, I'd like to see something more attacking, is what Dale says. I put in the bullet points which I sent on the WhatsApp last night when I was still a little bit more annoyed about the result. Was Mikel Arteta too pragmatic in his whole setup? There was a comment made on, I think it was Match Today. It might have even been on the commentary, but I did read it. I had heard on the commentary afterwards, but it was on Facebook, and I think they picked up on it from one of the commentators. We were very, very adventurous in the way we're passing the ball in front of Raya and through the midfield, but we're not as adventurous in passing that ball in the final third. You know, is this at Arteta's? And I'm not hashtag Arteta out. I'm just trying to unpick the game.
It's the next thing on my list to mention, Ferg. In that we played, I think, too many passes in front of Raya.
Yeah, nervous.
We were lucky one or two didn't go astray, let me tell you. It was a bit, but as soon as we got it up into the midfield, we seemed to be lacking the willingness to pass forward at times. I'm not putting it on Arteta, but we did. I felt a bit sorry for Victor because watching the game from behind the goal, you could see him make 2 or 3 runs in the first half. And Martinelli, in particular, on one occasion, had the ball at his feet and he could have put Victor through and didn't pass it. And that happened 2 or 3 times. So what I'm thinking of now is, are they still learning? Surely they must train on these runs of Victor and what they're going to put the ball through to him. But he wasn't getting the service that I would have liked to have seen him get. And that made us look even more negative, right? Because as Simon's mentioned just here, right, we were still, even with Victor running around up front, we were still getting like just entering into that final third of the field and seemed to be lacking ideas of what to do from then on, right? That's and it's, I'm not going to lie, it is concerning me a little bit, right? It is concerning me a little bit because we can flick the ball all around the back, right, for 3 or 4 minutes, right? And we can move it into midfield nicely. And we even move it up in midfield. We run a bit with the ball at our feet, or a defender takes it up past the midfield. But we just don't seem to be putting that final penetration run or pass or whatever in to the final third. We're coming up against brick walls, and it is worrying me. I'm sure that it's that Arteta have got it in hand, but we must remember it was Liverpool. We must keep that in the back of our heads.
Yeah, but listen, we know the opposition, and I think we stood our own very, very well against the opposition. Haven't got an issue with that. We got caught out by a wonder free kick, which we'll talk about later on. But I'm just talking about us and the way we set up, the lack of creativity that you talked about, and that lineup. So if we've got Marino in the lineup, I'm not digging any particular players out. I'm just thinking, I'm probably more. If digging anybody out slightly is the manager, just because of how he's moved his pieces on the chessboard. We had Rice, who was playing more or less as the third centre back, so he's playing in the number 6 role, and Zubamendi was pushed further up the pitch. Now Zubamendi can put pings in balls and stuff like that. Marino is not going to be that creative player, so Victor was trying to do some work, but he's a goal mouth merchant. He's just going to be sitting up there waiting for the ball to come him. He's not really going to be tracking back hugely. I don't know. Dale, what was your views on, say, that Rice, Zubamendi, Marino, that midfield trio, how they were used and positioned?
It's really hard to say after 3 games, and we go back to I know we keep saying about the opposition, but it's Anfield, right? You've got to be cautious to an extent because they've got players capable of turning it on at any point, and we've got to rely on these big players in these games. I didn't think Rice had his best game, but I didn't think he had a bad game. We can talk about set pieces shortly, but I thought his corners weren't great. He was trying a lot of outswingers, and there was a statistic came up on a screen. In all of the corners he's taken for us over the last couple of years, he's taken, I think, 4 outswinging corners. And in that game alone, he'd done the same amount of outswingers, which goes to show we were trying different things. Again, with set pieces. The midfield 3, I think Rice and Zubamendi have great potential to work together. I think maybe with that Odegaard type player in there, it gives them a bit more stability as they know what their position is. I don't know if you saw about Marino as well. Now, Marino in his last 50 games, across between playing up front, as he has been, as he did for 11 matches, and also midfield, he's only played in that that number 10 attacking midfield role 4 times, which says to me, is he the right player? Does he make those? We're talking about creativity. Is he the man to kind of make you that creative kind of role? Arguably, could we have swapped Marino and Declan Rice, maybe push Declan Rice forward, play him a bit further forward like West Ham did, and Marino a bit deeper as kind of that 6, if you will. There's lots of question marks around it. I mean, I don't think anyone had a particularly bad game, but I think one thing we didn't do, which we could have done, is the timing of the substitutions, as I mentioned before. At half-time, it was quite obvious to see that Liverpool were there for the taking. We had two players, in my opinion, who I'm not digging out again, but I think they should have been changed sooner. One would have been Marino, not because he had a bad game, but because we had people on the bench who offered more in that position. And the second would have been Martinelli, who I didn't think had a great game again. And when you look at the bench we've got the likes of, forget Eze for the time being. Let's use that argument and say Eze isn't ready. You've still got Leandro Trossard, who we all know is a fantastic player. He's proved it time and time again, especially off the bench. You've got Ethan Winieri, again, who's just signed a new contract. He's been proven. He's played for us several times before, and he can play that attacking role. He likes to create space. He likes to have a go at players and look for that killer pass. I don't think Marino and Martinelli were capable of that in that particular game.
Clara, come back on that.
No, to be honest, to sum it all up for me, what we're talking about, right? And I agree with almost everything you've both said, right? The only thing that really let us down for me was that we didn't look to move the ball forward when we had the opportunity. We went sideways, right? And I want to see us moving the ball forward more. I thought we could beat Liverpool at that game. I was gutted because I thought that our forwards would be better than Liverpool's defenders. I agree about Marino. I can see why he's played him though, because first half it worked perfectly. We were always going to come under a bit more pressure second half. We're playing away at Anfield. They're going to lift their game second half.
Yeah, but then why not change it a little bit sooner?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? That's the strange thing, because I was looking at the clock, right, and I thought Arteta likes a substitution after an hour or so to give a couple of players changes. And after an hour, it was great, but he didn't actually make the changes until the 70th minute, 69th, 70th minute. So he didn't give them long. But yeah, look, right, we spoke about a lot of negatives, right? But I also took a lot of positives out of that performance. And trust me, right, I've heard that Slot said afterwards that the game could have gone either way in his interview, right? And there will be managers of other Premier League teams saying, well, Arsenal got unlucky there. They've lost to a worldie, But there will also be managers of other Premier League teams saying, well, they didn't move that ball forward very well when they could have done. You don't get many opportunities to move the ball forward at Liverpool. And when we looked like we had a bit of an opening, we went sideways. And that concerns me. But overall, we can come on to the pluses in a minute. There's lots of pluses, boys, as well,
Listen, there's pluses with our whole season. There's been huge pluses with the transfer window. We've got 7 waiting on Nketiah to be officially announced. I know the window's shut, but things will come out over the next few hours if he's been signed up. We've got seven quality signings. So and as we said last week, when we looked at this game without Saka and with Odegaard being a doubt, we weren't concerned because we've got those players in those positions. One of the players that started, sorry, Trev, because I'm not going on into a positive now because I'm going to go in a bit more deep dive on Martinelli. Martinelli was played for one of his qualities, and his qualities is that he tracks back quite a lot, and his defensive qualities are really good. And I think again with the pragmatic style that Arteta chose to use yesterday, I think he was probably the right guy for then. But going forward into future games, who would you have on your starting lineup on that left-hand side if Odegaard's fit, if Madueke or Saka are playing? Who do you have on that left-hand side? You've got Trossard, you got Martinelli, and you got Eze. Who would you have there? And then bounce it straight over to Del.
If I wanted to take the easy way, I'd say whoever Arteta wants to play there. Eze looked, for me, he looked a bit nervous when he came on, to be honest, Eze. And when you bear in mind his connection with the club and his obvious feelings for the club, he may well have been a bit nervous coming on, making his debut at Anfield. Yeah. On the left-hand side, I wasn't upset with Martinelli's choice because Martinelli's had some recent really good games at Anfield. He really has. But as for who goes on the left, I think it's going to end up being Eze probably with Trossard. Who knows? I don't know. Like I said last week, right? Like I said last week, we've got a lot of players to choose from now, right? And so it's not a question I can answer, Ferg. I'm sorry, son. I really can't answer it.
Dale, do you want to have a go?
Yeah, I'd love a go. Based on the fact that I know a few Palace fans, and I've not seen enough of Eze to say what his strongest position is. But I've been told by several Palace fans, and you can see it online as well. If you want to get the best out of Eze, you do not stick him on the left-hand side. He can play there, of course he can. Professionals these days can play multiple positions, but his strongest position by far is in that 10. So it's a tough one, but at the moment, I think Noni has earned his stripes. I think he's played very well in the games he's played and when he's came on. Naturally, of course, he's a right-sided attacker, as he's shown, and when he covered for Saka, and then obviously when he started against Liverpool. But from what I've seen at the moment, I think I prefer Noni on the left, Madueke on the left, Odegaard through the middle, and Saka on the right-hand side. But you've still got the likes of Trossard, who can drop in on the left as well. Martinelli, I really like the guy. I really wish it works out for him, but I can't think of a consistent period he's had in the last 2 or 3 seasons. I really can't. And you can't afford to keep having the same conversation on the same players in the same positions in different seasons. For me, we need to act on it. And he's not, sadly, he's not, for me, the left-sided player we need. So, I mean, I think there's 2 of us ahead of him on the left-hand side, truth be told.
Trevor, when you were at the game yesterday, I was listening to Emmanuel Petit in the car over to here today. And the first thing to say, the guy's a mad gooner. He absolutely loves the club. And he commented on the game yesterday. He was really frustrated with the game yesterday because of, as he kept on, was to me, to you, passing around the pitch. How do we get those balls into Victor Gyökeres? Because that's the key to giving the right supply. Did you think Victor Gyökeres looked fit enough? And when I say fit enough, I mean fit enough for the Premier League, because fit enough for Sporting and fit enough for the Premier League are 2 different things.
I thought he looked all right, to be honest. He was making... all I worry about is he can get him downhearted, because he did make runs yesterday in space.
Yeah.
2 or 3 occasions in the first half, and I was watching, and they've got to be quick balls, you know. You've got to see his run and put him away. And we didn't put the ball through to him. It's that simple. You know, it wasn't just Martinelli. It was, I can't remember who else it was now. I'm not going to actually just guess at names. But I do feel for Martinelli, because we all know he's just not hitting the peak we want from him at the moment. Still thinking that I saw that from Palace fans as well, Dale, about Eze. You know, you must, if you want the best out of Eze, play him in the middle.
So what do you do with Odegaard then?
Well, this is it, Ferg. I was just about to ask you that same question, mate.
I don't know the answer. That's why I flipped it.
If Eze's best position through the middle, how do you work it all out? You know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? But it's a conundrum that we'll solve, that Arteta will solve. But at the end of the day, right, I'm going to give you a list now, Ferg, right, to kick off. You pick up on them, mate, right? I'm going to give you a list, right? At the end of the day, right, we look comfortable all over the park against Liverpool, right? All over the park, we look comfortable. I know we didn't get push the ball forward as we would have liked, but we look comfortable all over the park, right? Another day we win that game, right? Another day we win that game, because the chance goes the other way.
99 times out of 100 we win that game.
The chance goes the other way. We've got a diamond in mascara, right? Wow, thank you. You know, Liverpool playing at home in front of a really loud crowd, right? With the tannoy blaring out, "You'll never walk alone." Liverpool only had 3 shots at goal in the game, and they're at home. So, you know, so we're not playing badly. We're really playing, you know, we're doing all right, mate. Our defence was rock solid, our defence, no doubt about it. If we'd have got a draw, I'd have still come out of there thinking we could have got more out of that game. I wouldn't have been unhappy.
I totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree. And you know, as I said at the start, we went there not to lose, but Liverpool went there to make sure they didn't lose to us, and they got lucky with a wonder goal, which it always happens. But you know, mate, but they were not the better team. They were not the better team.
I've got 2 more points, mate. Liverpool know they got away with one, and I've heard that their manager has been man enough to stand up and admit that. And finally, right? And I don't know if anybody's noticed it or mentioned it, but Mo Salah, who is their talisman, their massive goal scorer for the last few years, now on a big contract, got absolutely pocketed by Calafiori. I forgot Salah was playing. So there's loads of good stuff that we're going to take forward to hammer Nottingham Forest in on Saturday week, mate. I'm telling you.
On that note there, Trev, I think it's important to say how good a start to the season Calafiori's had. He's had his injury problems over the last 6 months or so, and there was a lot of question marks, and people said, why is Lewis Skelly not starting, and why not play Timber there, and why at right back? But I think Calafiori's had a fantastic start to the season, and like you say, to control somebody like Salah consistently all game without even having even the odd slip up, I think he's done fantastic. Yeah. I really do.
Don't talk about slipping. I don't know if you noticed it watching, boys. Calafiori slipped over a few times yesterday.
He did, yeah.
I was fuming with him. I swore at him once. Get off and change your effing boots, boy, will you? Come on. Now then. But yeah, it's superb. Superb.
A player who we haven't mentioned yet, who was absolutely outstanding, was on the other wing, and that was Urian Timber. I thought he was sublime to watch all game. I thought he was solid. And he created quite a lot up that along that right hand side of the pitch.
He's got to be the first name on the team sheet at the moment, isn't he? I think the way he's made that position his own, and the way he's come back from the injury as well. Let's not forget that. To come back from that ACL injury to own that position is nothing but admirable.
You know what? It just shows the situation we're in. Like for 5 or 6 seasons, we're looking at a position that if we lost a player, we go, oh Christ, Ben White's out. We really suffer. Now we're thinking, does Ben White get back into the game? Odegaard, if he gets dropped, we've got Eze who can play in that number 10.
And Nwaneri, don't forget
Nwaneri. Yeah, no, I was going to say, and then you got players like Nwaneri, Lewis Skelly, who broke into the team, even Dowman breaking into the team, and they're going to really find it hard to get minutes in the Premier League.
I felt sorry for Dowman yesterday.
Go on.
Chucked on too late, 88 minutes, young kid. Nah. Bring Trossard on or something. Don't put the young kid through that. I thought he came on and he done all right, but Liverpool absolutely smothered him in defenders. But yeah, I felt for him.
The club saved a fortune because they chucked him on and didn't shove on Trossard. So his match fee is like 50% of his match fee, but he'll be on a YTS contract, won't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that he did that, but Odegaard made a massive difference when he came on. Got to mention that as well. We became a different kind of side. With Marino, we played a certain type of football, which is understandable because Marino's that certain type of player. But with Odegaard, we started doing what I wish we'd done all game. Listen, Van Dijk, right, strolled through that game with his head stuck in the air. It wasn't panicked once, didn't worry once, didn't have to turn and face his goal once, And Van Dijk got lucky because I honestly don't think he's good enough if we'd have done them things. If we'd have put the odd ball over the top for Gyökeres to run onto, I don't think Van Dijk stands a chance. I don't think Van Dijk stands a chance.
I think Liverpool's defensive display overall was so much better than their other previous 2 games they'd played in the league. If they turned up like they did in the first 2 games of the season, we'd smashed them 2 or 3-0. But David Raya talked about the ball, and it's the Puma ball. It's got a different shape and everything else. And the media spun that into he's trying to make some sort of excuse. I think if you hear the whole article, he's asked about it, and then it's clipped up and everything else. But let's look at this still image of the ball going in. You can see he's gone the right way. And it was a really good clip on Match. I think it was Match of the Day with Joe Hart. And Rooney didn't half look like an idiot. Rooney tried to slag off, saying, he should have done better. His feet were moving and stuff like that. And Joe Hart went, I'll tell you why that is. And he explained exactly what a keeper's trying to do to see the ball and move. It was really, really, if you get a chance, go on Match of the Day's website and see the clip. It was really good. But he'd done everything, Trev, didn't he?
I like Joe Hart. He's turning out to be a very, very good summariser. Puts a focus on Carragher and Neville and the crap they come out with. When you listen to someone like Hart, he talks really well, you know. And listen, right? So the likes of Rooney and whoever else and newspaper reporters, right, who've never set a foot in goal, are calling out the last 2 seasons Golden Glove winner and saying he missed a free kick. He positions himself wrong for a free kick. Get on your bikes. You've got no right to call Raya out for that. You're not even experienced enough to call Raya out for that. Thankfully, Joe Hart did his job, right? And said it as it was. We were at the other end of the ground, obviously. I watched that free kick leave whatever his name's foot, right? And
Salamsai. I've got closer than you.
It went right in the top bins, right? It went right in the top bins. It was just, we take that. That happens, right? You take it on the chin, say we lost to a goal of some incredible skill, and we move on. We move on. We don't call the goalkeeper out because he's missed one when he's won a Golden Glove last 2 seasons. What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. And thank you to Joe Hart for putting the goalkeeper side, the right side as well. See, I got a bit.
I think we all know though that half these pundits talk absolute nonsense. The one that got me. Did you see Roy Keane? So Roy Keane, he said, when you don't play well, or something along the lines of when you play badly and still win football matches, when you're not at your best, that's what champions do. But when we did the same thing at Old Trafford and we won the game, it was called negative football by Arsenal, and Arsenal didn't do this and Arsenal didn't do that. Half of these pundits, how they're in a job, I have absolutely no idea. They should be on VAR, not on TV.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Trev, I agree with you, Trev. In the comment there, I like listening to Joe Hart as well. Just had a comment come up first. Hincapié signing complete. I don't know a lot about the lad, but I'm sure it'll be all right if Big Berta has signed him. Perfect. Yeah.
He's a centre-back, a left-sided centre-back, and also a left-back. And everyone jokes about Arteta making signings and going, oh, he's going to sign another left-back. So I just thought it was quite funny, but apparently a good player.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So can I change the subject a second, mate?
Far away.
I just want a quick explanation, right? When I come out of away games and home games, I'm not going to name anyone, but I see certain people and you know what their remit is, right? You know what they're going to do. You know, like yesterday, I could see some angry faces when we came out of Anfield. So I've started doing these little videos before and after the game when I'm not with you, Ferg. You know, when I'm with you, we do it together. And I'm going to make a point of picking the positives out of the game because there's enough idiots out there that look for negatives as their narrative to make their pennies. So I'm going to look for positives. I've had loads and loads of wonderful comments on what I've done so far. A couple of off ones, but that's to be expected. We can't always think the same way, you know. So I just wanted to let everyone know out there that I'm not going to stop doing them. Yeah. Someone said to me yesterday. Someone commented, Ferg, on my post yesterday. What kind of dickhead goes to a football match with a microphone, right? Well, actually, this one does, right? This one does. And he's going to keep going with his microphone.
They're only the size of they're only tiny. So I'm your pocket. We've got them for when me and you meet up. But the reason being, Trev, is if you are going to put it up there, at least having somebody hear you is better than not hear you at all, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to keep on with the positive. I had another comment. It's because of positive fans like you that we're going nowhere. Hang on a minute. We're going everywhere. We really are on top. Anyway, but I'm just going to keep doing them. And if people don't like them, they can scroll on by. But I'm going to talk about a good side of our football club. And I'm going to make a point of it. And if I upset people on the way, so be it, right? I'm just going to do it even more, Ferg. Do it with a smile. Do me John Motson bit, as my mate told me. Hold my microphone and I'm going to sing our club's praises more often than certain poison as a go at them every week. Right, I'm done, Ferg. I'm done.
I saw a clip today, and I don't normally. Most of it's all blocked from certain channels, but I saw a clip from a friend of ours, well, mine, who's in Block 5, and the opening line was, "I'm done with this manager." I thought, oh, right, okay, scroll on, scroll on, jog on. I'm
But
done with this manager.
last week after we beat Leeds 5-0, the same person was loving the manager.
Yeah.
I'm done with this manager.
The funny thing is, another person who goes on and does similar stuff to what you do, but maybe not in the same positive way. I chat to occasionally on WhatsApp and stuff, and the messages I have on here compared to what you see on the screen are completely different, and we know why, because negativity and sensationalism and hyper positive, whatever it be, it drives clicks, it drives followings, it drives money. Like we got 411 people watching here, and we don't do any of that. We're just the same all the time.
You've nailed it. Listen, people out there, right? They are Arsenal fans in a certain way, right? In a certain way, but everything they put out there on these channels is because they're looking to make money, right? They're looking for clicks and they're looking to make money. I'm telling you now, right? I don't think I'll ever make money on Twitter or wherever, but if I ever do get paid a penny, it'll go straight to charity. I'm not out there shouting and screaming on a microphone to get any kind of fame or credit. I'm doing it to stand up against the negative ones, because I think it's about time a positive narrative was put out there. And I'm telling you now, quote me, we've got 414 people listening now. If I ever get paid a penny from X or Twitter, it will go straight to charity. Right? I'll
be honest
ever
on there. Let's see if anyone can see that. £16.72, and we've been running for how long? And they won't even pay us yet until we get to 60 quid. It costs me more. It costs me more than that to produce this every week.
Come on, you shouldn't have showed that, Ferg. We're making about £2 a year, mate. Come on, sort your life.
I'm gonna have to declare that to the tax man now, aren't I?
I'm in the same WhatsApp group that's been promised. If we ever make enough for a round, there's a pint each in the Woodbine. So before you put that money to charity, Trev, we'll make sure we get that pint.
I think there's
no. My money goes to charity. Ferg does what he wants with this.
Fair one. I'll get that.
Ferg, but having said that, I hope we didn't put that out in a big group, Ferg, because I want 2
No.
pints.
It has to be in a very small group. Otherwise,
you're only allowed 2 pints, Trev.
We'll have to have real Guinness and baby Guinness glasses, and then we might end up having a drink each. Oh dear! Hey, listen, let's move this on. We brush ourselves down. We go again. We've got the international break, which means we'll have no podcast on Friday and no podcast next Monday. But we will have one on Wednesday the 10th. We'll have.
Hold up a minute.
You can do what you want.
Hold up a minute, my son. God, do my face look thin on this screen? I'm quite liking this angle, you know. Anyway, I might have plans for Friday. Who knows, you know? So I might have thought of a little idea for Friday.
Well, it would have been good for you to say beforehand, but hey, I was just looking at how it works. But
I couldn't, Ferg, because I haven't thought of one yet, but I might do before Friday.
You might do. The most important thing is to let people know on September the 10th, which is the Wednesday, before we will be back with Alex, our Scottish friend from Andy's Man Club. It's good to talk. We've done a feature just before the season started with them, and it's something that we're going to make sure we do the whole way along. And again, in the car all day today, I was listening to Talk Sport, and Jeff Stellings was on the radio, and he got a text through from some guy called Joe. And I don't know if the text wasn't read out, but everybody got the flavor of what the text was. The guy was in a very, 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 very low place. So, you know, don't ever get to that stage. Talk to somebody, reach out somewhere, and anybody, anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex Man Club. I've already sent someone.
Andy's
Man Club. Andy's Man Club. Alex from Andy's Man Club.
Yeah.
I've already sent someone there to our local group, and they're going. They didn't know about it, although it is quite well known. If you Google that Andy's Man Club, you'll get all sorts of information. But I am talking to someone this last week, and I said, go and have a look. I'll come with you if you want. He don't want me to go with him. I think he wants to be amongst men, but maybe not men that he knows, people that he can openly talk. Yeah, and so he's going. Yeah,
and the way we done it last time is before there was any football. We had a bit of talk about what Andy's Man Club is and what it offers. We're going to do something along that line. We've got a couple of videos. Get your tissues, because they are a bit of a tearjerker, but it's not all going to be that. We'll then go into the second half. Alex is a big Arsenal fan. We'll ask him what he thought of the transfer window, ask him what he thought of the first opening 3 games, what his hopes are and expectations are for the rest of the season. So we'll still have an Arsenal feel. But Wednesday, the 10th of September, is World Suicide Awareness Day, hence why we're doing it on that day. And a Monday is always when the Andy Man's Club is on, between 7 and 9, so we can't do it then. Yeah, okay, that's public broadcast done.
Absolutely. No, it has to be done. And by the way, we're not sponsored by Andy's Man Club. We're doing this because we know it's important. That's
passionate to me. I've lost too many friends, and it's passionate to other people on this podcast. Not only on here today, but the whole group of us. So
and by the way, Ferg, there's a top Arsenal fan there agreeing with us. Nice to have you watching or listening, Albert. Albert is a top man, and I'll see you in Spain in a couple of weeks, Albert, mate.
Just go to a game, Albert, and here's the list of the games you can just go to. So you can go away to Atletico Club, so that's in Bilbao. Yeah. There's Slavia Prague, Bruges, and Milan. They're the away ones. Yeah, you need to bring a cap now. You've taken all your hair off, Albert, but Trevor, so all booked. I'm not making any of these, unfortunately, at this early stage in it. I'm hoping to get away to a couple, maybe in the new year.
Yeah.
Talk to me then of your expectations of these games. An early kickoff in Bilbao, that should be good, shouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And firstly, I've got to talk about Kairat Almaty first. I was desperate for us to get the trip to Kazakhstan. I had all my route planned out. I knew how to get there, and it was all ready. And when I first saw the name, I thought yes, and then I saw the H for the home game, and I thought bloody hell, no good. Listen, mate, Athletic Club Bilbao away. I've never been to that ground before, so that's a completely new ground for me. Nice place to start. Early kickoff. We'll have a bit of a laugh there. I've forgotten what teams are where now. When we're playing who? Yeah. Then we've got, who else have we got? We've got Prague away. That'll be a struggle. I won't enjoy myself in Prague. I'll put up with the place and suffer it a bit, and, just watch the football and come home.
It's a very cultural place, apparently. Donna won't mind you going there at all.
Yeah, I've not told her I'm going to Prague. No, I have.
Dale, and then have you been to Prague?
I've not, no. But who knows? We've still got time, right?
Yeah. Yep. Prague's a great city for more than one reason, right? Yeah.
Stag do's and hen do's and
Who else are we going to, Ferg? Not Milan. Who's the other one we're away to?
Inter away.
Bruges.
Bruges. That's sorted. I've never been to Bruges before either, so I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, the last away game, Milan away. Horrible place, the San Siro. I just do not like it. I honestly think that if we've already qualified before we play that game in Milan, I think he'll drop right down to 0 reds. I honestly do. One little bit of advice I would say for the Milan game. I'll give you advice on a few, but for the Milan game, if you're going to Milan and you've not been to there before, get to the ground very early, right? Get to the ground a couple of hours before kickoff, because they don't make it easy for visiting fans at the San Siro. So I shall be there 2 hours before the game in the ground.
I'd say that for most grounds, an hour and a half, maybe, beforehand. You remember in Porto, they queued and they jostled us, and you didn't do lawns. Lawns was filth. They sent us round and round the stadium, and you couldn't get into it. What's that?
I did go to Lons.
No,
I didn't go.
There's 3 people on this podcast. It's not all about you,
Oh, right. Oh, I thought you were talking. Sorry, Dal. Simon Lester's comment there is that might be a subject for another time, Simon. I'm not going to go into that tonight. It's a bit scary, actually.
You could do that. Could have been probably in the Amethyst bar, because they serve that amethyst, the lighted. Maybe that's what Simon says. Unless he means we won't go into more detail. Dale, are you doing any of the? Are you going to try and do any of the aways in the
I would
European?
love to, yeah. I would absolutely love to. I've only done 2 away games in Europe before. They were both with both with Trevor and one with yourself and Trevor as well. And Porto was incredible, and Eindhoven was just wet and rainy. But it was my first away day, so absolutely loved that. I'd like to go. I'd love to. So if anything does come up, guys, please let me know. I was going to question you two whilst we're on tonight, actually, about there's a big thing being spoke about last year. Do you remember there was a lot of empty seats towards the later games in the Champions League at home games, the Category A, Category B pricing? What's your thoughts on that? I see there's one particular supporters group trying to declassify certain games from Category A to Category B to C, etc. What's your take on that?
I'll go, Trev. Well, if you look at the final game, Karate Almaty.
Karate Almaty.
That'll do. Do you like that?
Hiya! Hong Kong for we.
But you look at that game. It's the 28th of January. People are skint after Christmas. We're probably already qualified. You would like to hope in the top 8. All these times are European times, by the way, in case anybody's looking at them and getting confused. It's just going to mean that it's going to be very, very, very empty seats. Myself, I think if it's something like a Bayern Munich, if it's a Cat A, it should be a Cat A. But if they're like a team that should really be in the Europa Conference League, then I think, I jokingly put it in the WhatsApp group saying that they could credit everybody back the cost of the ticket if they turn up and actually use their seat. So,
agree. If they make Kaira Almaty a Cat C, then I'm just about going to live with it. Anything other than that, and they're bang out of order. They could. I think that they may even need to make it like a League Cup game, 20 quid a seat. Honestly, and just reimburse us. Ferg, look at this, right? Demsek here. Demsek's pulled us up here, right, Kevin? And rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. It is great that we guys get to go. And we don't take it for granted, right? I know how lucky I am, Ferg, to be able to travel to all these wonderful places to watch the Arsenal and even go to the Emirates to watch the Arsenal. And we are lucky to be able to do all that, And I don't take it for granted. I do appreciate just how lucky we are to be able to do these things.
Well, that's why I'm not doing the European. I just simply can't afford it. I couldn't afford it last year, and I can't afford it this year. Last year was my daughter's wedding. It just gets really, really expensive. And Demsek is about staying in London for hotels or travel. But even look at going to Newcastle. I looked at the train prices for Newcastle because we didn't know if it's going to be on a Saturday or Sunday. It's most likely going to be Sunday. And you're talking about 200 and something pounds for the train ticket. And then if you stay over, it's like 50, 60 quid for a hotel if you get a cheap, dingy hotel. But then by the time you put food, drink, everything else on there, it's an expensive day out. A day in London is 100 quid.
Don't drink then. I don't.
Yeah. I said this to you the other day. You're like one of those ex-smokers.
Oh. So I only do it, Dale. I only do it to Ferg, mate, because I know he bites like that. I mean, other people I've not mentioned it to. Yeah.
May I say, Trev, you are looking well. You are looking very well.
Oh, thank you. Now, you're looking not so bad yourself, Mike.
Sorry, I've got to make the screen bigger for his head right now.
No, you can slim that. You can slim that wide angle down a bit now. You don't need the full screen for Trevor anymore.
I'm wondering if I could book just half a seat on an airplane, because I'm that skinny now. I don't need a full seat, Just have half a seat on an airplane.
Let's not get ahead of yourself here, Trev.
Your face in your gut might be just smaller, but you're still on a big ass.
Donna quite likes that actually, but that's for another time.
Yeah. Did you remember to pack your bruised bananas for Donna's birthday when you went away?
Yes, the banana was bruised. Yeah, it was.
Okay,
fine.
there we go. Right.
Can we save that for another day as well?
No, yeah. But I'm also going to take the old bruised bananas to Bilbao, because it's going to be 27 degrees there. It's going to be nice. We got an extra day there. We're going on Monday, coming back on Thursday. I can't even remember if the game's Tuesday or Wednesday now, to be honest, in Bilbao. But I've got every intention of having an hour on the beach in my bruised banana budgie smugglers. I have, mate. Getting the old boobs out, getting the shrinking tattoo out. I used to have a cannon. Now I've only got a shotgun. You know what I mean? But yeah, all good.
And you featured again apparently on some South American. I haven't brought the website up, but a South American website about English football fans who've got tattoos. And the old gut was on there with the cannon and Trevor Tats and Tits and Wallet and Trevor Hill.
Hey, do you know what, boys? While we're talking about cost of trips, right? After the game yesterday, I went back to Lime. I stay in St. Helens, as you guys know, when I go up to the Nort West away games. And I got back to Lime Street with the lads and I waved them off on the London train. And I thought, right, I'll get a train back to St. Helens. And I didn't have a train for 50 minutes. So I thought, right, I'm getting in an Uber. What the hell? It was 18 quid in an Uber. Away we go. And the driver, he was a Scouser and a blue Scouser. And we were talking. He said, I'm not going to do his accent, but they always say, lad, hey lad.
All right, lad.
I took a couple to the ground earlier, a couple of Americans earlier to the ground. And this American couple told them, right, they had paid £1,000 each for 2 tickets yesterday.
It's disgusting.
The world has gone absolutely balmy. The world has gone and this bloke had no reason to lie. He said he was talking to them about getting to the ground. They were a bit worried because they were American, first-timers, trippers, over from the States. And he said they'd been on somewhere and managed to pick up 2 tickets, £1,000 each. It's shocking, boys. It's shocking.
What? Gonna press the button.
Are you going to press the button? Oh, blimey, 56 minutes. Where's that gone?
I know.
That time's disappeared like my waistline has.
Trevor, I'm just thinking, I'm sitting in this caravan. I'm in the bedroom in the caravan, and there's people walking past, and they just hear this guy randomly talking very loudly all about Arsenal and laughing and joking.
Listen, Ferg, I don't like ending on a somber note, but I've got to say this because I've forgotten to mention it earlier. But let's put it as a celebration of what a great player he was. It would have been Jose Antonio Reyes' 42nd birthday today. So rest in peace, Jose Antonio Reyes. We paid our respects when we played in Seville a couple of seasons ago. Joined the Seville fans and paid our respects. So rest in peace, Jose Antonio. But to finish on a plus, right? 2 weeks Saturday, we've got Nottingham Forest, right? And from where I'm looking, we'll talk about it at length before that, obviously. But Dal, Fergus, from where I'm looking, boys, we are going to absolutely batter them into next week. And you heard it here first, right? You heard it here first. I'm on first name terms, only because I can't say surname right. Victor hat-trick. I can see it happening. The boy's doing everything right, apart from get the ball. And if he gets the ball, he's going to be away.
And a result that really took me aback. I was watching in a local pub with some West Ham fans on Sunday. It was a game very similar to the Old Firm derby. The home team were dominating quite heavily throughout the game. And then West Ham got the first, heads went down, second and third goal. 3 goals from West Ham. They've nearly scored
this as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was unreal. Del, thank you as always. Good to have you back on, mate. We will see you. Will we see you on
Forest.
The early kickoff? Forest?
Yeah,
okay,
Forest. A little bit disappointed with the early kickoff. Means the pub time in the pub, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's straight to the
for us non-drinkers. That don't matter, boys.
Yeah, drinking on the train it is then.
Yeah, well, I'll see you in the ground. I got my grandson with me on that one, and the City game will be the big one. We'll get into the pub early and not see the City game later.
Indeed, looking forward to it. Thanks for coming tonight, gents. Great to see you both as always.
469 people watching across various platforms. If you are watching us on X, we would love if you went over to Guns and Yellow Ribbons on YouTube. Click like and subscribe. That will help us get to £16.74, and maybe at one point we'll make 60 quid so we can buy a round of drinks. But no, seriously, we'd just love you to come over. It helps us do other things. It does help us getting greater exposure with some of the other content that we put out there. Thank you very much, all.
Is your memory going in your old age? Because I've said all this. When you get into the repeating stage, you don't want to be in a caravan. You want to be somewhere else getting treatment, son.
I didn't say it. You said it. So I'm just reiterating. That's what we do at the end. You have been watching Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans, for Arsenal fans. A husband and wife arguing and a bloke looking on. Up the Arsenal, Fox Spurs.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.